got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of slime. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time.
Welcome to episode 401 of Fourth and Jawn. I'm Gayle Saunders here with Tim Kincaid. Obviously, it's we're talking about the Senior Bowl recap. So me and Tim got an opportunity to go down to Mobile, Alabama, and dork it out in terms of it's totally. I'm gonna be totally honest. I am so ecstatic when I get these opportunities to scout players and do with your own eyes. Obviously there's analysts you like out there, but you want to see with your own eyes. And I think it really, when you see it in person, you get a better feel for the player. But overall, I think it's just a great experience. I know, Tim, this was your first time down to Mobile. I mean, for those people that have always wanted to go to Mobile, you see people on the timeline talk about the Senior Bowl experience. And I've always told you about the experience. Yeah. So, I mean, how was that for your first time?
It was lit, yo. Just from the scout aspect, analyzing aspect, and this networking, and then it was super, super dope of doing a trip, enjoying a trip like that with your consider one of your good friends. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, from the restaurants to going to Jackson, is it Jackson? It's not Jackson State. I'm sorry. It's Alabama.
South Alabama.
I'm sorry. So South Alabama University and just like the camaraderie of just everybody being in the same building and everybody is just wants the same thing that you want. You want to meet these players. You want to understand of like the ins and outs, scouting department, networking, and I built so many great friendships in Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, because my thing is I bumped into old colleagues that I used to work with at NBC Sports when I was a draft analyst. So it was kind of funny. We were in the same room trying to get the same prospect at the same time. And I'm like, yo, what's up, Thor? I'm like, it's crazy how small the business is. But when you get down there and you have the conversations that you're having with just football heads, it's cool just to, gauge some of the level of interest that they have in certain prospects. So you meet somebody, I'm sitting there with Fran Duffy and we're talking about our prospects, and it's cool just to sit there and have great conversations with legends that you see on the timeline or that are out here creating content. There was a lot of Eagles content creators out there. Shout out to you guys. We were hanging with Louis DiBiase the whole week. Shout out to Mike and Dom. Simone as well. There's just a whole bunch of people out there. I just got back this morning at 1 a.m.
And he's the birthday boy. You gotta remember this. It was just his birthday. So we are on a business trip celebrating his birthday. So can I get everybody in the comments say happy birthday to Big Bro Gayle?
No, it's a little late, man.
Man, still.
No, I mean it was just that to me was the present. Being down there was the present. To be honest, that was the present. But honestly, going down there, I had like players and positions in mind. Obviously, you can't see everything at once. You can go back and watch some of the film, whether it's the linemen. I specifically was really about that wide receiver life, running backs, and that's where I was, because that was really where it was pretty star-studded down there. I mean, you look at the second round of the draft, third round of the draft, it's littered with Senior Bowl talent the last couple years. And I think those guys have been a lot of glue guys in terms of, wide receiver threes and wide receiver, fours that are making impact, like the Tank Dells of the world, the Jane Reeds of the world. You look at the Packers' whole wide receiver unit is all Senior Bowl guys almost. Bo Melton, you name it. So I mean, in general, I just went down there. I was like, I got to see these wide receivers for myself.
Yeah.
So what wide receivers stood out to you?
I mean, it was obviously for me. It was Roman Wilson. That dude he was so good that he left. He left the Senior Bowl early. I think for me, what was so impressive for him is to see his release point and getting out of his breaks and just his route running was immaculate. Like, and he caught everything that went his way. So he was one of them. What about you, wide receiver wise? I got two. My position.
I mean, I'm gonna go. I mean, there was a couple, man. Like Ladd McConkey out of Georgia. If you guys go back and check his routes, one-on-ones, he was killing people. In terms of like having like multiple moves, like he's got a story to tell with his routes. Like now we keep on going back to like some of our wide receiver threes in here can't tell stories with the routes. Some of the guys down there that we saw were routing up people very often.
Cooking DBs up.
So I think Ladd, I tried to get an interview with him, but it was like trying to talk to the president. Right. It was crazy out there. Like you see these interviews. I mean, shout out to Tim for helping with the interviews and getting his share of interviews as well. But these interviews, it's like fighting. So they give you about 10 minutes to get on the field.
Explain the rules.
Yeah.
Explain the rules. The rules are kind of crazy.
So there's about I'd say about 300 media people out there, and everyone's fighting for a opportunity to interview players. So it's like you got to elbow somebody out, you got to box them out. Like Embiid, you do what you got to do, and then you got to try to be a seasoned pro out there, and then have your questions ready to go. But it's definitely a interesting, time, because you got 10 minutes and you're looking at the clock and you're like, damn, I got 10 minutes to find someone. So, it is what it is.
Yeah. Brandon Rice, he was one of the outstanding wide receivers at Jerry Rice's son. It didn't matter. You can stand in his way. You can untie his shoe, tie his shoe together like a cartoon. He was catching the ball. It didn't matter. He was very impressive, man. Shout out to Jerry Rice as well. It's something super, super dope for my wife. So,
is she watching? Man. Is she watching?
Nah, she's not. I don't think she's trying to clean up the house.
All right. So she don't know.
She does not know.
Okay. But anyway, seeing Jerry Rice out there was probably, for me, I was just like, you try to keep it composure. Yeah. But Jerry Rice is the GOAT in terms of he's the GOAT. So, I mean, he was out there, taking photos with people and such. But it's kind of weird to see Jerry Rice and his son out there. It's kind of the stuff I would do with Madden, where I would create a player's son and add them in to like future, like NCAA, EA Sports. I would make these fake sons and here we are, like, the fact that Ed McCaffrey's son was out there, Christian McCaffrey. So talking about Christian McCaffrey, he had a solid week. I thought he raised his stock. I thought Brendan Rice, is it Brendan? Brendan.
I think it's Brendan.
Yeah. I thought, the separation, I would like to see a little bit more separation, but he's definitely strong at the catch point. Big, he's a big dude.
Yeah, he's about 6'4". He's about 6'4", maybe 6'5".
No,
wingspan was kind of really. I thought he was a little taller. I mean, I'm 6'2", 6'3", so he seemed a little.
You should Google that.
I'm gonna Google it
because you know how people be with the can't be
true. You can't be. You're taller with cleats.
You cannot come out here and say that you're taller than what you are. If you look at, let's say Xavier Legette out of South Carolina, a guy who said he was 6. He didn't say, but you know how they do it. They were saying he was 6'3", came in at around 6'1". did not have the greatest Senior Bowl. I thought he was, he had a second practice was pretty good, but I thought the first practice was, you just want to see guys pop. Now I see Todd in the comments. Malachi Corley, to me, that Malachi Corley, man, he got voted one of the best wideouts down at the Senior Bowl. I think in terms of him staying all three practices and being a part of just being a leader down there, I thought Malachi Corley put in some work. What you think of Malachi?
Malachi, definitely his draft stock went up. Hands, release point, understands. He knows how to help the quarterback. I mean, I don't want nobody throwing elbows at me. Quarterback play wasn't all that great. But he was somebody that stuck out, especially day two. I think was it day two? I want to say it was I believe it was day two. Day two, he stuck out. Like he was that guy.
Like you talk about, everyone was like, it's not fair to. I don't think it's fair to say that he's the next Debo, but he's got Debo. He's got Debo traits, former running back. But I think in terms of yak, he's a strong wideout. But there's so many wideouts that I'm like, man, I was like, if they just draft two of these,
right,
in the middle rounds, we'd be all right. We also talked to wide receiver Ricky Pearsall from Florida.
That was my guy right there. Super cool.
He was super spicy, very confident.
Very.
If you check out one of his catches, he had a tremendous catch, man. Just put Ricky Pearsall catch.
Right. I think he's gonna steal my wording. Go get your hands. He was like, that was a new one. So shout out to the Pearsall dog. He came from. I mean, he was at ASU, right, at first, and then he went to Florida. Was that correct?
Yeah.
This kid got some swag to him. He got some swag. He's definitely going to impress some people in the locker room with his swag.
Well, like you add some of these guys in. Like, I would love my wide receiver 3 to be a storyteller as a route runner that could potentially get yak. I know Pearsall, he played in the slot mainly, but he said he can play inside and out. And a lot of these guys did talk to the Eagles, so it was very, a lot of these players do talk to every team down there. But what I'd like to do is follow the progression of, like, after the Senior Bowl, then it's the combine, and then having a private meeting, then follow them to see if they show up to their pro workouts,
right?
And then look for the Eagles position coach. If you see the Eagles position coach, like he's in love in the background in these random photos, then Like I saw I saw the tight ends coach at Dallas Goedert's pro day workout. I was like, it's a wrap. Eagles are drafting that guy.
One thing I did, and then I don't want to get off the topic, but I did see some things where you see Eagle personnel near that player, and that player was off limits. So give me 50 feet.
Now we were walking up to. We actually saw Tyler Guyton, the tackle from Oklahoma. He was actually mocked to the Eagles in Daniel Jeremiah's first mock draft at 22. A lot of Eagle fans in the comments on our socials are hating that idea and hating the whole. But the thing about Tyler Guyton is he calls Lane Johnson his brother.
Yeah,
and he said he puts the weight on Lane Johnson for him to get better. He said, because he's been been pretty much his mentor. So it was very interesting. He had a really good camp down there, Senior Bowl camp. He had some losses here and there, but I think overall everyone's excited about his they're excited about his mobility. They feel like they could just probably teach him, but he's got a lot of tools. Did you like Tyler Guyton?
I did like Tyler Gavin. Violent hands, understands space. You can't win every route. I'm sorry, every rep. So he knew I think he made his money. He knew he made his money. I think it was day 2 or day. I think it was day 2. He made his money. He knew it was up. You had a great interview with him as well.
You know, a lot of people, you know, if you see any of the profiles, they're like, oh, he was a former tight end. He's like, I don't know where they're getting this from. I never played. It's like I never played tight end. I was like, because I was like, I said, do you miss it? And he's like, yeah. The misconception is I played tight end. He's like, they had like a some kind of they had a package for him where he caught a pass.
Oh, okay.
And then he's just like, I don't know where they got this from. And then Jim Nagy, the executive director of the Senior Bowl, who was cool as shit, he comes. He's like, hey man, I think I've been spreading misinformation. And so that was a funny thing.
Yo, shout out to Jim Nagy, man. He wanted to grab Gayle up a couple of times.
I still gotta post that interview, but
you got to post that interview. Yeah. That was a great interview.
Because he was just like, you know, he didn't want me to put him on the spot in certain things.
Gayle was pushing that envelope, but it was great questions.
You know, but he did give us some intel.
Yes.
On some of the corners coming out, but
broke my heart.
We will not share that because we said we would not share that.
Yeah, we said we not share that. So, yeah, it broke my heart. I mean, he when I said that person's name, he looked at me and he looked at Gayle and he looked at the logo. He said, "Oh, I know, I can recognize the logo." I said, "Oh, well, Gayle, we will not. We are talking off camera. This is off record."
Shout out to Bird Gang 31. He was down there in Mobile, his first time. You know,
first time eating some crawfish too.
Good Lord, man! That could be. This is going to be a whole nother. The food, we'll get to it, but we'll get to the food. Yeah, we'll get to it. But Bird Gang says we need to get Xavier Legette. I think for a big bodied wideout, strong. Yeah. I just think he needs to be a little bit more consistent. I know a lot of the scouts down there were a little bit, they wanted to see more. Now, Rome says, happy belated birthday. Thank you, sir.
Yes,
the Senior Bowl looked amazing. I got to go. You know, the thing about the Senior Bowl, they've pretty much opened it up. Now, you can come down there and watch practices with everyone else. And it's free to attend. Mm-hmm. Before it was credentialed. But to get on the field, you have to have credentials. But in general, you could come down there and have the experience. And actually, it's really cool just to see. You just got to experience. Okay.
You got to get your credentials so you can get some. What was it? Grits and shrimp.
Yeah, the grits and shrimp. Yeah,
grits and shrimp go off the chain.
Now, shout out to ECG. They were out there putting in work. Go check out some of their interviews down there. They had a lot of quality content. They're out there playing football. They're doing kids. They're doing reports. Doing a lot of good things out there. But talk about Tez Walker from North Carolina. Definitely a guy with juice. I'll say that. He could stretch the field very fast. I think he posted one of the fastest times with the Zebra technology, which pretty much they're tracking all the players. How fast they're moving. But Tez, a lot of drops, very inconsistent. I think he still needs some polishing.
Yeah, he definitely needs some polishing. He has some couple. I mean, one-on-ones. I couldn't get off the one-on-ones. I couldn't. It was so intriguing to see guys with competitive juices going at it, battling one-on-one. So one-on-ones, man. Walker was he was doing his thing. You know what I mean? He did have a lot of drops. Hopefully, during combine, he can bring his stock back up.
Because my thing is,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
You look at a Tez Walker, then you see Lad McConkey, and you see Ricky Pearsall, and you see other guys just winning consistently. Roman Wilson, like that's what it's supposed to look like.
Correct. You're supposed to be dominating.
I mean, it's made for you to look good out there. Let's see. Mr. Walker is confirmed. He got permission to go next year.
It's all little bro.
Hey man, it's definitely a great opportunity. Now Tim says Ricky Percio comp Puka. I was pretty high on Puka Nakua. If you guys listen to this, he was one of my day 3 targets. He also had a killer practice before I think he got injured. I think I don't know about Puka. Like in my interview with Ricky Percio, he said I asked him to give me his superhuman wide receiver. He said the top of the routes, Justin Jefferson. He said the footwork, probably Devontae Adams and Amari Cooper. He said that mental game. He said IQ would be what's his name from the Rams?
Cup.
Cooper Kupp. And he said hands. He said that would be Larry Fitzgerald. So he was definitely a good interview. But any other? Let's see. Interview wise, Quinyon Mitchell, out of Toledo, which cornerback out of Toledo. Man, this dude is making waves, man. He told me that he talked with the Eagles. He said that I said, tell me who do you compare your game to? He said Darius Slay. Yeah. So he said, he was the one guy that was flashing seriously in one-on-ones.
He was his stock went up. And I want to read this off. So Quinyon Mitchell is 6 foot, 196 pounds, Toledo Rockets. 32 solo tackles, 1 interception, but in the year 2022, he had 5 interceptions. So it tells you that people weren't really throwing his way his senior year.
Yeah. I mean, my thing is, if you're looking at mocks right now, the new mocks, you're seeing Mitchell. I think he got mocked, I think 17 by Lance Zierlein somewhere.
Yeah.
But I'm saying he's definitely spicy. He's the guy that I asked Roman Wilson who brought the juice. He said that Mitchell was a tone setter.
Yeah, he's a dog. He's definitely a dog.
So he set off practice. And my thing is, like, he kept calling. He's like, yeah, he got me. He said Roman Wilson, he got me. It's good, but he's like, I ain't cool with that. But we're gonna run it back.
Yeah.
But he took a pick 6 to the house. But again, people were like Toledo, but go watch the tape. Did a lot of played a lot of zone in Toledo. But I think the thing about Jim Nagy and putting these guys in positions to perform and do things that they don't normally do, he held up for his own and man.
And I think the biggest concern about Mitchell is he doesn't press a lot. He didn't press a lot in Toledo. So that's probably the biggest knock on him. But in my personal opinion, what he showed this weekend, he showed that he's a dog, and his athleticism is elite.
Bird Gang is in his fields. He says, "What's up, guys? No love. What are they?" I was like, "Hey, if you showed up on time, Bird Gang, we mentioned all those receivers."
Yeah,
I mean, like.
Oh,
Luke McCaffrey. I'm just saying. He had I liked his one-hand catch in the Senior Bowl game. Right. It was interesting. And again, it's I'm still watching footage on like the linemen right now on who actually did what. Now I'm trying to think who else did it. We interviewed let's see, Marshawn Lloyd, running back from USC. I think in terms of one of our favorite guys, this dude right here, this guy has great energy. He's a former 5-star. I think in terms of, he's a Wilmington, Delaware native, which was pretty cool. And I was like, I live there. And I said, his story is just mad cool. Like, he went down to Washington to play at DeMatha. So he had to get up at 4:00 in the morning. His mom drove him down to Washington every day. The kind of dedication, like he ended up playing against Caleb Williams. And this is how they were rivals in high school, and this is how he ended up at USC. Once he entered the transfer portal, Caleb Williams was like, "Hey, why don't you team up with me at the real USC?" And that's how that was happening. But what do you think about his energy?
Oh man, cool off the field, super cool, down to earth type of cat. His jump cut is impressive. It is impressive. He has a little, and I don't want to go over hills or anything like that, but he has a little bit of Emmitt Smith to him with the jump cut and the way and he's a little shifty with it. You guys please check out that interview on the Fourth and Jawn videos. He wants to model his game after Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders. I mean, why not go after the greatest, right? Two Hall of Famer running backs. Was really, really, really impressive at catching out of the backfield, understood blocking. Now he's just focused, man. He's getting ready for the combine. Chopped it up with him, getting ready to go to Houston. Might come to Phoenix. Yeah. Lloyd is my guy, man.
That's your guy?
That's my dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my guy.
No, I mean it's my part of the part of Senior Bowl week is like when you get an opportunity to interview them, and then like because you like the prospect, so you go down to Senior Bowl, they check all the boxes, then now you're a fan, and it really doesn't matter where they go from here. Obviously, you'd love them to be an Eagle, but when you see how good of a dude they are, you root for them their whole career. Like this guy, I'm telling you, he would be a great asset to any team. Like I think he's the one. He actually made himself some money. I think end of day 2.
Yeah, he's he's definitely gonna be mid.
Like I'm saying, like second to third, like definitely. I think his juice is up there.
Yo, for sure. He understands his assignment. Like he was just phenomenal all weekend, man. Like all week he's good guy, good kid, loves football, loves family. His mother, he shout out his mother. His mother did a lot for him. The story you tell, good people are from Delaware. You know what I'm saying?
He said his interview was ruthless. Yes. He said NFL coaches are ruthless. He said,
this guy.
He said he couldn't say what they asked him, but in general, he kept it. He's like, but he's like, I like the process. He's like, I'm glad I went through the experience, and he's like, wouldn't have it any other way. Now we got Dan. Shout out to Dan. Dan, my guy. He's all about Ladd, man.
I can tell.
There's a lot of people in the comments talking about Ladd. I think Ladd McConkey, go watch his stuff, man. Like my thing is like, or we give you some names here. You go watch it. Tell me what you think. I love to have these back and forth conversations.
Yeah.
Again, I have to get through the rest of the other wideouts, the top wideouts, but I like to have everything set once I leave the Senior Bowl, so now I can figure out who's middle, who's top, who's day 3, and then work it. I'm an Aquarius. I work things in my head are a little. I have a unorthodox style of how I do my thing, but I think Ladd McConkey is the guy that has had a lot of talk by a lot of analysts for, if you're trying to get a plug and play guy that can give you some stability, I think it could be Ladd.
He's definitely a day 2. I think he's going to be around. He's going to be somewhere in there. He just showed he showed what he can do in this past week. Combine's going to be up, and I feel like he's somebody. He's not afraid of the lights. He's not afraid of the bright lights.
Now, Bob asks, did you see any Eagles staff there, Gayle? The only person that we did see, you might know this guy, Big Dom. Big Dom is the only person that we saw down there. I think I was someone told me that Darren Sproles was running interviews. Yeah. I didn't get a confirmation on that.
Yeah, I think somebody said that, but
someone.
The only running back that I seen was Frank Gore, the Eagles player for 5 seconds.
Yeah, But yeah, that's the only person I saw. We went up to Tyler Guyton to get him for an interview when we were on the field, and Big Dom that's how we bumped into Big Dom. You know, people in the comments just, you know, you post stuff, people saying talking shit like, does this guy ever work? Is he just like, this guy's just like, you know, bro, this guy's always working. Always working. And they were there. They had security around Tyler Guyton, and then they like ushered him off. I'm like, where are you guys going?
Yeah, it was weird.
Wasn't it?
It was weird.
Maybe he had an interview. Maybe he had an interview. I don't know.
Or maybe you got to think about it. Every time that Don's seen you and I or around like Eagles content or Eagles media, he was kind of like, you know, he was Lane Johnson. I mean, he told Eagles personnel, "Hey, don't get in trouble." So, and that conversation is definitely off record. We know some things that went through. So, yeah, it was really weird though. That was really weird.
Are you gonna share any of that?
Share what? No, I'm not. I'm not getting in trouble.
I mean, it's just funny because like there's a lot of conversations that are had, and it's like random stuff, and random situations. So you're just minding your own business, and someone starts talking, and you don't even some of the times people don't even realize or care. And I don't know if they care, but they don't realize that you know people are lurking and listening. But that's the whole thing about the Senior Bowl. People really love that kind of aspect. You go to a bar. So we went to a bar one night, and I mean, you know, it's Garofalo next to you. It's Ian Rappaport, and you're just like, okay, if I stay here long enough,
you're gonna hear something.
I can hear something, but I want to be the weird.
What was the dude with the big?
Damn, just putting them on blast like that.
They all look like jockeys. They all
Luciano.
Yeah, they all look like horse jockeys.
Yeah, about 5'5" and under.
They're like 5'5". They little.
But,
I couldn't even see him until what's name said something. I was like, oh, okay, he is right there. He look like a kid.
Shout out to Mark Bird. Mark Bird gave me his list of players that he wanted me to look at. Obviously, they're all Oregon because they always say Mark from Oregon. But JPJ, other known as Jackson Powers Johnson, he really put in work. You talk about a guy. Obviously, I know we got a center. He can play center and guard, center versatility.
I think he's gonna be better at guard though, don't you?
I mean, for us, like True. You know, because you know people are like, oh, Cam Jurgens, like if I can get, he's rocking 334 pounds, athletically.
Bruh.
Athletically. I know people don't want Lyman, but we love Lyman in Philadelphia.
Yeah, the big sexies. You know what I mean? We love him in Philly.
Yeah, JPJ rose his stock.
Oh, he made money. Especially day 2, he made money. He one-on-ones, he was punching cats. He was hitting them with punches everywhere. He's got it. This kid is nice.
Shout out to Conrad. He said B. West went to DeMatha, great school for football.
Oh, okay.
But I think JPJ, I think he could push himself into the first round. I know some mocks already have him there in the first round, but I obviously think he made himself someone. The size that he has, man, 330s. This is what I'm talking about. Cam Jurgens is like 301. Yeah. This is like, you know. And then my thing is, I'm asking. I was gonna say who I asked, but I don't want to put him on blast. But like, I'm not putting like until it's official or Tyler Steen is that guy. I'm still finding. Yeah. I'm just trying to find the best football players out there.
For sure, that's available.
Another player that you want to talk about?
I have the position that I feel like is very needed. I'm gonna go safeties. So my number one, he stuck out a lot. It was Evan Williams from Oregon. 49 solo tackles, four and a half sacks. Didn't have any NITs, interceptions, but this kid right here, man, he's aggressive. Physicality is crazy. I think Mark sent me everything about him, and then also the other guy for me was Tyree, the DB, the corner, Kyrie Jackson, 6'3", 295 pounds. Didn't really see a lot of him because I believe he had a little injury, but he was out there day 3. Mm-hmm. He was talking. He was saying some crazy stuff. He was talking crazy to the wide receiver. He was like, "Hey, y'all need to learn how to run routes." I was like, "Whoa, okay, all right." So, yeah, he's about that life, man. 34 solo tackles, about 3 interceptions, man. So, Kyrie Jackson.
Yeah, when Mark sent me his list, I saw Evan Williams, and I'm sitting there like, all right,
yeah.
I didn't know much about Evan Williams at all. So next thing I know, I'm like looking up. All right, this guy walks past me, and I'm like, I'm checking there's a backpack. I was like, that's a dope ass backpack. I'm like, that's an Oregon backpack. So I'm like, let me look up what Evan Williams looks like. I'm trying to look up the names, and then it was Evan Williams. So I texted Mark. I said, "Yo, the guy that you just sent me a text about," I was like, "I think he's on my plane." So he actually sat in front of me. So I actually did the dive on Evan Williams. His brother played at Oregon. He's transferred from Fresno. I thought a lot of people, said that he flashed as well. Yeah. He came up with an interception in the Senior Bowl, which was nice. Yeah. So I think he did get some buzz going at the end of the week. So I thought that was pretty cool.
PG. He won every defensive tackle, bro.
Now the cornerback from Louisville.
Let me get my list down real quick.
Cornerback from Louisville. I asked Jaquan Jackson who was the best cornerback, and he said cornerback from Louisville.
Cornerback from Louisville. I apologize, y'all. There were so many players out there, so I was literally me and Gayle. Me and Gayle were busy.
There's a couple players that were saying that he was one of the best corners out there.
Was he on the American roster?
I'm not sure.
What number was he?
You're asking some Jarvis Brown-Lee. Jarvis Brown-Lee from Louisville.
Probably.
Yeah, so Jarvis Brown-Lee from Louisville. I asked Jaquan Jackson. He was definitely locking some folks up there. Who else I was gonna say?
He had the interception, wasn't it, from Louisville?
Yeah.
He had the interception, yeah.
So Fish and Football says, "What up?" He said, "Kentucky DB needs some love out here. Tell him who you like, man." I mean, ECG was out here holding their own out here, putting in work. Who else can I say? I want to bring up a guy who, if anyone will listen, I did the deep dive on Dylan Lobby from New Hampshire. Now
you should do a solo on this one.
Well, I'm just, because you always you find a prospect and you try to, because you try to root for him. Because I'm like, the small school guy is here. The fact that a guy from New Hampshire is down there playing with dudes in the SEC out here trying to make a name for himself. I'm like, all right, and the dude's from New Hampshire. The only other big thing in New Hampshire probably was Chip Kelly. And then my high school teammate, who's like best friends with Chip Kelly, he coached with Chip Kelly at New Hampshire. But that's the last time I've checked out New Hampshire. But Dylan Lobby, man, like he was getting Danny Woodhead comps, Austin Eckler comps. He's a guy who lines up in the slot. He's a former lacrosse player from the Hamptons. So Yeah. I don't remember. I don't remember doing any finding any other prospects from the Hamptons. But a big, Long Island is a big lacrosse country. So he had all these offers to play lacrosse, but he's like, I love football more than ever. So he stuck it out. But he's if you go back and watch him against Central Michigan at like 295 yards receiving, dude put up like some ridiculous numbers. And I was like, that was the game that they're like, yo, check that game.
Yeah.
Then I did a deep dive. I'm watching his high school games. I'm like, bro, he's been doing it for a long time. So I think for him to go out to the Senior Bowl, nobody could cover. He won all his reps.
Bro, when
he won all his reps.
When he was 1-on-1 and running routes, he was cooking. He ran the vision. He has vision. The kid understands. Gayle had a perfect interview with him. Please go check that out. Gayle, you pulled out the stop for this kid. This kid, but he's good, man.
Well, my thing is just like I'm trying to find the gems. Like if you can get him on a day 3,
yeah.
My thing is like I don't like you can get prospects in the second round, but that's not like a gem. You want to get a guy late, the Nakuas of the world, and cooking with gas, like. Right. That's really what you want to find, the guys that I think another Ray Davis from Kentucky.
Yeah. Ray
Davis, from Kentucky, running back. He's built like you look at his profile photo and he looks like a linebacker.
Bro, he is what is he, like 5'8", 221 or something like that?
He also Ray Davis also played at Temple as well.
Oh, okay.
He made his way around, but dude looks, from neck wise, head down, looks like a linebacker. I think he made himself some money. I think Ray Davis be very interesting. Chase asks, when you're looking at a prospect playing at safety, what's the first thing you're looking for? You like to see them diagnose, read, and react, but I think they can't tackle out the Senior Bowl. So
yeah.
That's the tough part, you know what I mean? Like you want to see them. At least I like to see some range. You know what I'm saying?
I like to see the ball hawk. I like to see eyes of. He should be the eyes of the quarterback on the defensive side. Intelligence. That's what I look for. Safety. Intangibles, tackling. And you can plug and play. You can put them anywhere. That's the type of safety I'm looking. I know I'm describing the perfect safety like Kyle Hamilton, but that's what I look for, safety.
Yeah, Ray Davis also went to Vandy too, so he went to Vandy, Kentucky, and Temple.
Damn.
Yeah. Shout out to Andrew, says, good evening, boys. Let's go, Phils. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Pete's asking, who's the Puka Nacua of this draft? I know it's too early, but what's your opinion of the late round, Jen? Let's see, Javon. Is it Javon Brown? I'm not gonna say UCF wide receiver. I thought he flashed all week. He was the transfer from Alabama.
Oh yeah, okay.
Javon Brown. But I think it's. I'm just gonna say I just thought he flashed. I think not enough people are talking about Thrash from
Jabari Thrash. That's mine. That would be my guy.
Yeah, he's another guy that flashed as well.
He's so quick.
Who else? I'm trying to think who else. I mean, there were so many prospects, man.
Yeah,
and it's funny because like some of these prospects will not. They'll show up and the next day they're gone, and you're like, where'd they go? Okay, we got another dude in here. Latu from UCLA. He's a guy that came down here and flashed. I thought for him to come down here and compete, I thought that was super respectful for him to come out and compete.
Yeah.
If someone's calling you like a top 20 prospect in the first round, and you come out here, there's a couple first round tackles that were here.
Yep.
Like he doesn't like he wanted to come out here and compete.
Yeah. It was unfair. He was going against like it was super unfair, but he held his own. I mean, if you look at the draft, prospects, I think he's gonna be a top 10 pick. When you're talking about somebody that's 6'5", 265. He had 49 tackles, 28 solo, 13 sacks, and 2 interceptions. He balled out for the UCLA Bruins this past season.
He had a medical issue. His career could have been over. So a lot of people are thinking like, I think that's my thing with his stock is the medicals. If he checks out, fine in the medicals. But I think his tools in terms of what he brings to the table, he's got the way that he wins.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty much addressing some of these tackles that are trying to block him. He's got tools for days. I think from a veteran standpoint, he's got veteran moves for a rookie. So I think you got to think that he can even be better. And put on an NFL body.
Right. Would you? I mean, I remember we were sitting in the stands and I was like, "Yo, look to the right," and he went through the drill. He did the drill like it was easy, like Sunday morning with the Commodores. Like it was crazy. Like, and on top of that, when he was like the celebrity there, he was the man. Like everybody was trying to talk to him. It was like trying to get an autograph from the president, and it was crazy. He was just everybody was around him talking to him. But he got injured too. Did he? He got a little setback or something?
Yeah, he got his they wrapped up his leg and everything.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
So I think people are going to ask about linebackers. I think Peyton Wilson from NC State showed out. I think he's a guy that could be interesting. Bertrand from Notre Dame. We were watching practices, and his mom was right next to us. Yeah. That's the part of like when you go to the Senior Bowl, you actually get to see the families of the prospects. So the fact that you're seeing that it's more than just practice. Like it's their families are like stressed out. They're watching them. They're like,
yeah, she was like, his mom was stressed out.
So she's asking us like, "Oh, are you guys scouts? Or you like now we're podcasting, blah blah blah." But it's cool to see you like, out here supporting your son,
and her other son too.
The safety.
I can't remember his name.
From Notre Dame.
Yeah. My linebacker, I'm about to go Nathaniel Watson from Mississippi State, 6'2", 240 pounds, 137 tackles, 10 sacks, 1 interception. This kid was this kid was everywhere. He was everywhere when he played with the Bulldogs too. I mean, he's forcing fumbles. He was doing a lot. So that's another linebacker that I would like. I could definitely see him day 2. Definitely day 2. For the Eagles, I don't know, but definitely day 2.
Andrew asked, chances how he drafts a linebacker in the first round? Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
Yeah, unless it's like Ray Lewis reincarnated. Yeah.
Unless he goes out and gets one. I mean, he's got to go out and get one in free agency. He's got to.
Go get Queen. I'm
saying, like there's an opportunity. Like we're trying to talk about the Senior Bowl, but I'm getting angry about them because I just keep thinking about the middle of the field and how it's been open for 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when we had Chauncey, he shut it down.
Yeah, most definitely.
Bob Down Under says top 10 wide receivers this draft for juniors. There's a lot of talent. We can literally replenish depth and get potential depth who can step in.
I got you.
Step in. Tim asks, who stood out as an absolute dog down at the bowl? A dog.
Quinyon Mitchell. He was the dog for me.
Toledo from Toledo.
Yeah, from Toledo. And also Darius Robinson. Darius Robinson.
Oh yeah,
he was a dog, bro. This kid, he got it. 6'5", 296. 43 solo, 43 tackles, 29 solo, 8.5 sacks. This kid's a beast, man.
He's getting a lot. I think he made himself a lot of money. Like a lot of people are saying second round, and now people are actually saying bottom of the first. He got mocked by Zero Line today in the first. So I was listening to some other analysts. They're like, he's definitely a second round prospect now. So I feel like Robinson did his thing. He's from Missouri. Now Braden Fisk from Florida State. He was like playing with his hair on fire. Shout out to Dom. We met Dom this weekend for the first time. He was hanging out with us the whole week. He had his whole Florida State get up. So he
head to toe.
Shoes, everything on point, impeccable. But he was big on Fisk, and I was big on Fisk as well. I thought he made himself some money. Let's see. Fuaga from Oregon State. I think I think he solidified his first round stock.
Yeah. I got Tre'Davious Sweat. He was a dog.
Oh yeah.
He made his money day 2. He made his money. Or day 1, he made his money.
But he's like 360. More. No, he didn't weigh in. So if he didn't weigh in and he's like listed around 360, there's a potential that he could be around 370-ish. The fact why, bro, that's a big dude. But we already have a Jordan Davis in the mix, so
yeah, right.
But he did hold his own out there.
Yeah, he did. He
blew up some stuff. Todd said, "Who's the Sidney Brown of this year's Senior Bowl?"
Jalen Simpson.
Talk in terms of because that last year that was my guy coming out of the Senior Bowl. So if I'm gonna flip it in my own way, who's Sidney Brown of this year? Who's mostly out of all these names that we've said most likely to be an Eagle?
See, the thing is though, the reason why I'm saying Jalen Simpson is because he's a little undersized. He's more built like a corner. You know what I mean? 6'1", under 180 pounds. So that was the reason why. Because they was basically saying that Sidney Brown was short at safety. So that was the reason why. Who would you say is the next guy like Sidney Brown from this year's Senior Bowl?
Well, in terms of safety, I still have to do more work on safeties, to be honest. I was watching Evan Williams, and that was because, I was like, now I'm invested.
Bro, hey,
now I'm
nice.
Now I'm invested. I was really let's see, running back Ali from Marshall. He had injury.
Yeah.
So he
towards pectoral.
Did he? I didn't know he tore something.
Yeah, he tore. He had to have surgery. He had surgery like that the third day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone made a comment about quarterbacks. Any late round, dude.
Hitler Rattlers.
I thought. I'm gonna be honest. The quarterback play last year was worse. Like it was so bad that I was like, nah, I'm not going to the game. I'm gonna go home. So this year it's like, all right, Michael Penix out here from Washington. He was throwing lasers. I wanted to be more wowed.
Yeah.
Bo Nix, he was. I wasn't wowed. I think he got better as the week went on, and usually the first day of practices, a lot of quarterbacks, it's new wide receivers. They're throwing the new teammates they've never played with before. But that's I like the chaos because you want to see who can shine in these like weird situations.
The highlight was when Milton was throwing like in the flat and then doing backflips.
Yeah, I was getting.
That was hilarious.
I was just like, come on, man, stop doing backflips, bro. Like some people were like, oh, he showed off the athleticism, but I was like, this is the QB.
I didn't know he was that big. He's a big dude, man.
This is the QB from
Tennessee.
Yeah, so make sure you say the name in the
my bad.
School.
Yeah.
So I think I just didn't. He wasn't as consistent as what I want to see from.
He can run.
Yeah, but I'm like, yeah. And I was just like, I heard some other analysts saying that before we got there, and I was just like, come on, man, stop hating. And when I got there, I was like, I was like, now I see it. And then
yeah. The
backflips
is crazy though. He was out of pocket for the backflips.
Now, Fishing Football says, who translate the best y'all think? I'm guessing that he says Roman Wilson from Michigan, wide receiver from Michigan. Roman Wilson, man, he's been like he was routing everyone up. I would say he was pretty much uncoverable. Roman Wilson. Yeah. You know, he's not the biggest dude, but he has a lot of fight in him. I saw I forget which analyst had posted some of his blocking cut-ups, and he was like he tried to pancake some dude. Good story though. I mean, Jim Harbaugh picked him out. He's from Hawaii, and picked him out of a camp when he was like a freshman, like 14 years old, and Roman Wilson was the star of that camp. And he said, Jim Harbaugh was like, this guy's going to be the next, he's going to be somebody. And then he said he didn't hear back from Harbaugh for like 3 years. And then his dad, they didn't come from money. He got a job working at an airline just to, because he had to fly to this high school from a different island.
That's crazy.
So he flew every day to practice in the school. So he's like, bro, he's like, that's why I don't like flying now, because I've been on so many flights, flying back and forth to practice. It's crazy. So you hear his story, and you're like, a lot of these guys, their drive is like bananas, like to do all this stuff just to like play football in high school. Right. But in terms of bettering your career and everything, and the fact that he found his way back to Michigan, I think he thought he was going to go to Oregon, but he went to Michigan instead. Kind of worked out for him as a national championship.
Yeah, he got a ring.
Is the Ritter stuff true? What Ritter?
What are you talking about?
Oh, the Rattler?
Rattler?
I don't know.
Yeah.
QB Spencer Rattler from South Carolina. He did meet with the Eagles. I mean, a lot of players are going to meet with the Eagles. Ryan says Eagles are playing in Brazil week 1 confirmed. What? No way.
Hold up. Okay, that's what I was seeing then.
No way.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm serious as hard as that, bro. Oh my God.
You get out. No.
We go to Rio.
Yo, I'm trying to just focus on football. Like, you gonna send us to Brazil?
That's funny.
What?
Yeah, they just confirmed.
Get out.
Week 1. Central play.
Come on, man. I'm not trying to go to Brazil, man.
Bro, that is nuts.
Because I don't miss
though. It looks nice.
And the worst part about it is I don't like missing games, the opening games.
Bro,
fuck.
That's like for us. That would be what 3-4 o'clock in the morning.
How you gonna tailgate in Brazil?
I'm gonna figure it out.
Todd says that's whack.
Oh man.
Pete says that's the last thing to focus if you go to Brazil. Shout out to my brother. He went to Brazil. He had a phenomenal time. His photos are still. He had a great time. That's crazy. That's just crazy.
We need to be sent there.
Andrew says that is big money. You guys need it. Hey, shout out to Philly Sports Trip. See what's cracking, crack-a-lacking. Tailgate in Rio. That'll be crazy.
Hey, get it.
So Pete asks, who's your wide receiver you pick between Roman Wilson and Ricky Pearsall? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think
I'm going Roman Wilson.
Jeez.
Shout out to Ricky though. Shout out to Ricky, yo. He my man, $50,000. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not like, and I'm not trying to like get out of answering the question for you, Pete. But I think no, I'm actually not, because if there's certain type of player you want, and that fits your system, you know. But I think if you think Roman's size at the next level might be an issue or whatever.
I mean,
or if you're trying to like find something to like knock him, but I think he's uncoverable in the slot.
Yeah. I mean, they said the same thing about Devontae Smith. They said his size, he's built like a 12-year-old.
Yeah,
he's one of the top, at least top 15.
Well, I'm saying some teams might want more from their slot. You know, they might want a bigger slot. You know, Ricky Pearsall, he's a bigger wideout. So in terms of that, I think it's just pick your poison.
Yeah, Ricky's about 6'1", 6 foot.
Don't be making up sizes because they'll come for you. All right.
I mean, I see him up close.
I think Roman's around 5'10".
Yeah. Oh yeah, Roman's short.
But 5'10", but regardless of that, Roman Wilson has really great energy, man.
Yeah.
Go check out. There's a couple interviews about right. I just love those. I love those background stories because that kind of shows up to me. That shows up on film. Like the work ethic and all the struggle they've been through, it shows up in their play. You see a guy like not hustling, like some of these guys are built different. So overall, other than that, I mean, just talking about the trip and wrapping it up. If you guys ever get an opportunity, you guys should try and just go down to Senior Bowl, check it out. See if scouting is for you, if you like it, if you don't like it, but you get an opportunity to see the culture, like Alabama, the way they love their football is like, man, how we love our football in Philly.
Yeah, for real.
Like we went to the store, spent about like an hour talking to this store owner. Like, we love ourselves and Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts. I'm the mayor of this block. Everybody knows me down here. I love my Bama boys and it's. And then the dude off the street comes in and his crimson cowboy hat and
Southern boy, I love it.
About 80-year-old black dude was just killing it. Just the vibe is like they love football. I met this one girl that was at the stadium. She had Roll Tide tattooed on. It's on her arm. She like it's
real.
They love football down there.
They do, man. They live. Besides, all that right in the football stuff, I gotta explain something about the food. Okay, is it R&R, right?
Yeah.
Listen, if you go down to Mobile, Alabama, gotta go to R&R, bro. You gotta check out the crawfish, the blue crab, the crab legs was off the charts. It was Gayle's birthday. They hooked us up with the what was the Mardi Gras cake? I don't know the name of it.
It was bread pudding.
Bread pudding. It was so good.
It was so good. It was crack. But the bread pudding was crack. But the crawfish. Now, if you guys don't, some people don't like crawfish.
Well, yeah, they look like bugs. I understand.
I mean, did you ever feel that vibe though? Were you like, oh, bugs?
Nah. I mean, I just like everybody like when I took a picture of everybody like, oh, is that water bugs? Like they are water bugs of the sea.
So there's Louis. Shout out to Louis. He's eating his crawfish. That's 5 pounds of crawfish. Good. I know Pete has something to say about it. Todd says there's still nothing like Louisiana crawfish. Hey, they said they make it really good. It's the best crawfish in Mobile, they said.
I feel like it was better than the one I had in Louisiana.
They do not taste muddy. They taste spices are like ridiculous, man. Spices are ridiculous.
The sausage, pause, and the corn. Corn was amazing. Corn. I think Gayle ordered like 5 corns.
Yeah, yeah. She said, oh, she brought back. I was like, bro, bring 5 of them.
Yeah, like
because we about to
ate his, and then he got mad at me. Ate his.
Nah, the food was every single day. We ate like kings. Breakfast was like,
oh yeah,
Maple Biscuit Company was good.
And who was your crush? Your celebrity crush?
My girl. That's the hell you talking about? just like you.
Yeah, I said my wife.
Yeah,
we're good guys over here. We're good guys.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And then went to Winsel's the Oyster House. If you guys are Mobile, check that out. That was pretty good. I know Fran Duffy, he recommended that Winsel's.
Shout out to Fran. He was super cool.
Any other store? I mean, meeting T.O. was pretty awesome. He was a busy dude, but he took the opportunity to take a pic. I really wanted to meet Jerry Rice. That didn't happen, but it's all good, man. Just being in the presence of Jerry Rice is pretty sick,
Yeah, I wish I can see you the video, and play it, but yeah, you know why. Wifey's birthday is not here yet, so.
This is
What's up?
the schedule makers. Why would they make how many games are
I'm still trying to process in my head right now when we're talking, to figure this out, because I'm like Brazil, bro.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that. I mean, it's gonna be for nostalgia purposes. Like any Eagle fan that goes there,
it'll be lit though. It's gonna be lit.
That is ridiculous. That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, I'm still tripping about that.
Tim's like, Viva Brazil. Wilder says rather Brazil than England or Germany.
Hey, I love Germany. I used to live there.
I do. My thing is how expensive.
Oh yeah.
How a
we
flight
have to look
to
up the currency. Let's look up the currency.
A flight to Brazil is how far?
Let's check this out.
See, it's a 10-hour flight.
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
I'm guessing. AJ said she's going.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I'm not ready for that. But Dwayne says I tried to bring you with me back in the day. Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah,
it's too much, man.
Shout out, bro.
Everyone's gonna have to get a passport. You're gonna have to put in work. Hey, you better start booking your tickets now. You know what I'm saying? But before we get out of here, I just want to give a shout out to Philly Sports Trips. Maybe this is a trip in the making. That would be insane. If you're looking to book some trips, phillysportstrips.com. They have not only football, they do soccer, they do baseball, they do hockey, they do Sixers. A lot of trips in the makings, but we'll see about that. You got me. That has got me messed up. We're talking about the Senior Bowl. We're talking about Brazil. Blue Meanie says that Philadelphia to Rio is $1,130 right now.
Yeah, just pulled up. Yeah, it's about $1,400. Yeah, and then you got to pay for bags. Bags about $30 each.
That's a $2,000 trip.
Yeah. But dude, going to Rio, that would be illmatic. You know what I mean? Gotta make that trip, Gayle. Gotta make that trip, man.
I'm mad right now.
He said I'm mad right now.
Yo, going to Seattle was enough for me. Like going to Brazil is another. God, man. Well, anyway, we just want to thank you guys for popping through, man. And talking about the Senior Bowl. I obviously know that Senior Bowl is not for everybody, but they say the draft starts in Mobile. This is very true. It's the first. We have the combine coming up. I'm not sure if we're gonna make it out there. Still trying to figure out my schedule. I would like to go to the combine, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. Draft is in Detroit.
I would love to go to that.
That might happen. So we'll figure it out. But any last words before we get out of here, Tim? Any last words?
What was your favorite highlight of the trip?
My favorite highlight of the trip, I think. It keeps going back to food.
Nice.
Because I feel like I felt like I was spoiled with food. No, I think watching you experience it gave me another opportunity to like have fun with the whole experience. Because I'm like, but shout out to Bud, Hollywood Bud, if you know him, he's a content creator, does video games and stuff. He showed me all these places. So a lot of these places that you guys went to, I brought you guys to, are things he showed me as a local. So that's like everyone's like, yo, shout out to my boy Chris.
Bro, you're the local now.
My boy Chris came. He randomly showed up, and I was like, yo, come with. And he didn't plan to like be in the mix, but he was in the mix with us, and he had a good time. But just watching you guys, like, damn, all these food places are so dope. I was like, bro, this is Hollywood Bud. He brought me all these spots. So
yeah, bro, the food was amazing, and just the Southern hospitality. My favorite highlight was just like meeting up with. Shout out to Teron Davenport. Been watching him. Been listening to him, watching him for years. Used to be an Eagles beat writer. Now he's moved on to the Tennessee Titans. This dude has just moved up through the shadows. He's moved up tremendously. Not feeling my tan though. I literally have Wesley Snipes going on this side, and then regular Tim on this side. The sun was out.
Look at that.
Yeah, bro. Look at my joint. I got Wesley Snipes right here, son. Look at that. Look at the tan. Look at that.
Everyone that was watching practice has a tan, half their face. Man. Bob says thoughts on our new coaches. Fangio, we all knew that they wanted Fangio. So the fact that Hollis is the first guy who broke it to the media, or broke it. He was the first person to say Fangio was going to be the coach. Yeah. And remember, he said that Fangio was being introduced as coach. So the fact that we're here a year later, Hollis is the guy that broke that a long time ago. So him being back, my thing is like, do you want McDonald's or you want McDowell's? And if you have never seen Coming to America, you probably never get that. But McDonald's and McDowell's. So you got the guy that is running the defense because it's his defense versus the guy who's learned from the guy who taught him his defense.
Right. For me, I think with Vic Fangio, I like the hire, but you're going to have to give him some linebackers. That's the only way this defense will work, especially with 3-4. You got to give him some linebackers.
Fishing said he got burned, but we plan on doing a podcast tomorrow. We're gonna dive deep more into some coaching hires. We're gonna dive deeper into the Super Bowl. Obviously, it's tough to talk about a Super Bowl when you're not in it. But shout out to Evan Hollywood Hearn, Hollis Thomas, and Primo. But definitely want to talk about that tomorrow. But other than that, I'm on my way to get my birthday dinner. So I can't be late, going to see my family. Appreciate them. But last word before you get out of Tim? Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, most definitely. The future is bright, man. Don't get discouraged. Philadelphia Eagles, they're gonna take the proper, the necessary steps. So go Birds. We'll be all right, guys. We'll be all right.
Okay. Last word before we get out of here. Shout out to all you guys in the comments and all your you guys hit me up and say who you want to look at. So a lot of these guys, you tell me who you want to look at, I go talk to them. So yeah, shout out to you guys for giving me the inspiration. The Senior Bowl, obviously, again for me, it's personal. I love it. I love this draft process. It's all part of the process, and we try to make it fun here, so you can come along with us on the ride. Obviously, I know draft is not for everybody, but there's a lot of people that like the draft. So have fun with it. We figure out who the players are, and then we move right into the mock draft season. It's gonna be fun, man. Obviously, I feel like the Eagles need to be fixed. I think they're doing their due diligence now, and I think the new look Eagles in 2024 should have a different feel to it because the writing was on the wall.
Right. One more thing, Gayle, gotta give you your flowers. Thank you for taking me, inviting me on this trip, bro. Like it was super dope. The experience was just far, bro. It was just crazy, man. So I appreciate you, man. I really do, man.
Oh, I'm glad you made it, man. And again, I think it's a great experience. Like you just have to go for yourself, and then you realize how dope the opportunity is. The fact that you could talk to scouts and GMs. Shout out to Jim Nagy. He's the guy that put it all together. If you see him, I mean, he's got a wealth of information. And when I talked to him, I said, "You're a guy that has the pulse on the draft." Because he's talking to all these NFL teams, GMs, and you name it, he's setting the board pretty much.
These players' futures in his hands.
I mean, my thing is the fact that he puts them in a position to win, which is nice. That's what I love to see. Definitely see you guys next year. Yeah. And all you guys out there putting content, that's dope. Mark Bird says the real ones. Pete Nason says I'll be better. It'll be better year than last year. What did he say?
I don't know. I'm not getting that one.
Yeah. All right, Bob. You guys have a good night.
Later, man.
But happy birthday. Happy birthday. We'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, fly, Eagles, fly.